Hello Lego fans, Mesba here from Mesbricks. Today we'll be focusing on some tiny changes to the downtown diner modular building. And when I say tiny, I mean tiny. So let me shift the camera around. This is all the changes that I want to be making. So there's lots of figures, but in terms of actual new bricks, not a lot. And why I want to make changes is that I want to enhance the experience of the downtown diner. So I have my trusty cup of tea ready. Let's begin. Now, the first changes I want to make is inside the diner itself. And to do that, we must get rid of the top two floors. And the changes I want to make will be both on the outside and in the inside. So I'm going to move the car out of the way and we'll come back to the car at the very end. So let me show you the diner. Now while you turn this, you must be very careful not to hold it by this. The attachment is not the strongest. I found out via some unfortunate accident. So let me show you the inside. One of the things you see is that these booths are very well made, but there's no way you can put a person there. So you can take a look, they're very smooth, so there's no attachment for studs. There's no studs, there's no stud receptors, and so on. So it looks like this waitress is talking to a ghost, which is not correct. Second thing is that these stools, they are also smooth, so you can't attach any minifigure to them. So I want to preserve those, but I want to put some minifigures inside this bar scene. Otherwise, it just looks very empty. Now I know that it will be covered up. Nobody can actually see what's inside, but you could take a look from the street level. So right now it looks very empty. I just want to fill it up with a little bit more minifigures than usual. And I also want to put some minifigures on the street. So before we begin any modifications, there's only one rule that I have for my modification in this video. Whatever pieces we take out, so let's say I'm popping this tile and I don't need it for the street. Now I have an extra tile. I must reuse it or put it back in this set somehow. Because by any chance, if I were to ever disassemble this set, I want it to be complete. So I don't want to be looking for that extra piece somewhere. So that's the only rule that I have, that whatever pieces I take out, I must reuse them somehow. So with that, let's begin with attaching some people inside the booths. If you take a look at the manual, so I'm taking a look at the instruction manual for the downtown diner, and I'm opening to page 41. So see how these pancakes are stacked on the floor, on this table. There's a round piece 2 by 2 and a pancake on top, and then this other pancake just sits on top. It's loose, it's not really attached. So if I wanted to do this in real life, like I have this piece here, and then the other one is just on top. So at any time, this can fall if the set is shaken. I don't want that. The other thing is that, once again, take a look at the two cups right here, the two glass cups. They're again lying loose on the table. Once again, if I am doing this, all of that would fall off. So there's no attachment on the table, and these two studs are for just the bottom pancake. The top one will slide off as we have shown. So what we can do is we can actually use these studs to attach a person in the seat, and I'm going to show you how. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one diner from my minifigure, the list of minifigures I have. So I have this very common female minifigure, and I'm using a female one because most of the time there's less representation of females in Lego sets. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one pancake. So this is one round 2x2 tile. I'm going to attach a small plate, 1x1 white plate, to the very corner. So it looks like this. And for this person, on their right hand, I'm going to attach this pancake. Make sure you do it where there's a piece like that so it's easy to grip. So that's it. Now what happens is I'm going to put this person on the booth. So they're going to be sitting on the booth, but there's no attachment. But this plate is going to stick to that stud on the table. So let's take a look. I'm going to see if I can do this on camera. If not, I'll show you the result. So the idea is to place this person like that and then attach this plate to this stud right here. So let's do that. And because of the movement of the arms, I'm able to do that. So this person is now seated person. When I say the minifigure is seated, I can turn the waitress slightly and she is fine. She's sticking on the floor because she has these skates and there's a stud on the floor. So now if I turn it, I can see that this person is firmly stuck. So the waitress is talking to somebody, and I can use this other pancake and put it on the other stud. So it looks like she has ordered some pancakes. She's just having the first one, and she put the other one on that other side. If needed, I could put another figure there, but I wanted a woman to just eat by herself here. So that's this scene. So now let's come to these bar stools and how we can sort of see if we can fit some minifigs there. Now for the bar stools, what I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to be removing the white tile beside the bar stool. So one of the things that you will need a tool is a tiny minifig, I don't know what to call this, a spanner. And why you need the spanner is at the end of the spanner there's this tiny little pointed flattened piece that you can put under the tile and pop it up. And it's very useful, even more useful than the brick separator, because this is very fine. And the idea is that I want to put attachments or stud plates right on these white tiles. So let me see if I can point to the white tiles. So right these ones that are beside the bar stool. I want to keep the bar stools as they are because it really looks nice, and maybe the people are not sitting on the bar stool, but they will be standing right beside it about to sit down. And the way is that these bar stools are sort of stuck on plates. So you can see that when I take it out, it comes off with that jumper to which it's attached. So now there's an exposed piece of stud right here. I can go with this spanner, take out that black tile, and then take out that white tile. And in place of that white tile, I'm going to be putting one of these and then one of this. So a 1x2 plate with studs and then a 1x2 tile white. So rather than a 2x2 white tile, we'll have these so the figures can be attached to these studs. So let's go ahead and do that for two of the stools. So I'll be doing for this and this. As you can see, I have a little bit of exposed studs right here. So I've taken out these plates and the two white plates. Time to put the other ones, these ones, there. Right now I have placed, as you can see, white plate, tile, and then again another white plate and tile. The exposed ones are for this jumper, so I'm going to put them right now. That way, it's very difficult, I'll have to tell you. You need very nimble fingers, and I have very, very fat fingers. But let's see, it's not the easiest, but it can be done. So there we have it. Let me show you from the street level. There's no change, but you can see that there are now studs on the floor, and I didn't have to rip apart everything just to get there. So it's quite easy. Just let's make sure everything is tight. So now it's time to put some figures in. And there's these two cups that I was telling you about. Yeah. So I could not put them on the table before because they were loose, but now I can have figures grasp it and put it there. So the first figure is I'm going to use this typical lumberjack type figure. He looks like somebody who would be at a 50s diner. So I'm going to be giving him one of the cups. So he's going to be asking the server / chef for a coffee refill. So that's the first one. The second one, I'm going to be using this old timer right here. Let's see if I can focus. There he is. So he might be in the bookstore modular, but I have some extra ones. So again, I'll be giving him a cup, and now we can use those attachments to put them inside the diner. I've put the figures inside. Let's take a look how it looks. So now you can see from the street level that there are people inside right here. It looks like a busy diner. These people are not seated, but maybe the old timer is about to sit. He has a leg raise, so maybe he's gonna swing it over the bar stool. The other one has just come, or maybe he was seated somewhere else. He just walked up to the bar. But again, the server / chef has his back to them. He is grilling something on the oven. So it looks like a semi-full diner. So that's all the modifications I wanted to do inside the diner itself. Now I will come to the street level. So for now, we have these two tiles, 2x2, that are loose. So we are going to figure out a place to put them. Next bit of modifications will be the studs. I want to put a 2x2 plate here. So I want to take out this tile. I want to shift this here and the tile here. So these two, there won't be any loss of pieces. Just move this stud here and the tile here, but put this one here. So I'll have a loose tile. So let's start with that, and then I'll show you why I'm doing that. I'm also going to be putting more figures here. So what I've done is I have switched this tile and this jumper here. I moved this plate here, and that gave me one loose dark gray tile, and this small 1x1 was actually here, so I just rotated them. So that's a small change, and I'm going to put this back because I had to take it out to get access to the others. And why I wanted to do that, let me see if I can zoom in a bit and turn to here. So I wanted to put these two figures right here. So this is from my Scooby-Doo sets. So here I wanted to place Scooby-Doo right by the bar. So let's attach him properly here. And you can see the expression he has on his face, and I wanted his master to turn back to him and say, "What are you doing beside the lamppost? You better not be doing what I think you were trying to do." So that's a very funny scene right here. So for that, I wanted to change these two studs here. Now let's go here. Right here, I wanted to take this 1x2 tile out, and I wanted to put this jumper plate right there so I can attach one figure. So take this tile out, use the brick separator to try and remove this piece is gone. So this is now what joins my list of pieces that I have removed, and put the jumper here and attach this tile back. So the minifigures that I'll be putting here is this extra guy. So this is a man in a sausage costume. He's one of the collectible minifigures. So I'm gonna let's zoom in a bit. I'm gonna be putting him right here. So he is actually employed by the diner to talk to passerbys, to the people on the pavement about the diner. So he is an advertisement. He is selling the diner. He's telling people who are passing by to come into the diner. But he's forgetting his job slightly because there's a cheerleader. She is walking by and he's trying to hit on her. Looks like he's falling on his feet for her. But yeah, let's put him back. And let's put her there. So he's talking with her and she is listening to him. So that's for that piece. Now we are going to put one more figure here. There is, if I can find her, I'm not sure where she is. Okay, so let me tell you about these studs and the changes I want to be making right here while I search for that minifig. Found my minifig. She was hidden in plain sight. So this is her. She has a phone that she is taking out to snap a picture, and we'll be placing her here beside the parking meter. So you can see what she is taking picture is of a car going by, and why we'll find out near the end of the video. So what is left for the street level is to do some tiny modifications around here. On this side, we have a stud for someone right here. I want to make this into a plate and a stud that I can attach a figure as well. Right now it's a tile. And the reason for that is clear. So I think I should have been able to do this had I some nails, but no. So this is pretty easy. Take it out. One more tile to add to the list of tiles. What we are going to do is, this is the 1x2 tile. Focus. Yeah, 1x2 tile that we removed from here. I'm going to be reusing that here. So that's one less piece to worry about. One 1x2 plate to put here. Now it's slightly different color than the rest. You don't see it because of the shadows, which is fine. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be putting this minifig right here. He has a very snarky grin. Now, does he have an alternate expression? Yes. So, you know what? Let's put this one. So this is an evil, snarky grin. And why he has that? Because he's up to no good. And we'll explore that in a bit. So I'm going to be putting him right here. And in front of him will be another figure. So she has that, you know, Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel hair. She has a phone. She has sunglasses. She is up to no good. I was thinking of putting this, but I think the sunglasses fit the character better because she's trying to hide herself. And why, we'll find out when we put in the third floor, the recording studio. So let's put her also here. So they are again sort of hiding behind this postage booth. Now let's show you the whole street scene. Let me see if I can lift it up slightly. And Scooby-Doo, it has fallen. That's fine. I'll attach him off camera. Actually, let's try to see if I can do it right now. There. What he needs is really also a stud here. So, you know, this is a good part. This is something I didn't plan for, but let's find another plate so I can attach him properly. And so this means that this tile will also now be an extra one. There I have taken out this tile, put an extra plate right here. So it's a bit firmer attachment for Scooby-Doo. It won't be the best because of the way the figures stud receptors are. It's not a total receptor, it's just curved slightly. So that's the best we have to do. So here he is. Let me tilt it up without touching Scooby-Doo. So you can see he's about to start something naughty at the lamppost, and his master, I believe his name is Shaggy, I am not too familiar with the characters, is telling him, "What are you up to?" Meanwhile, we can see the hot dog guy is trying on something with the cheerleader, who doesn't appear to be too impressed. This lady in the purple dress has seen a car with some people that she would like to take pictures of. We'll find that out at the end of the video. And then we have these two shady characters with shades on. So she's up to something no good. She's hiding behind this big postage booth and with her accomplice. So what they're doing, we'll find out, but that's it for the bottom floor. Let's now move up to the second floor. And before we do that, let me show you the inside of the diner. So from the top, we can see we have a waitress and a person that she is serving who's not falling off. Neither are her pancakes. We have these two figures at the bar, the chef completely ignoring them. From the street level, you can see that this diner is now full, as is the street. So that's that for the bottom floor. Now let's move on to the second floor. Second floor is the gym. So before we go on to the second floor, let me show you the extra pieces that we have so far. This is it. We will figure out some use for them later on. Now, this is a gym. So the problems here are, first of all, I had to put this boxer on the floor. The whole mat is completely tiled. I cannot attach this boxer anywhere on the mat. Neither can I attach boxers anywhere inside the boxing ring. So I will have to put studs here on the mat so for the boxers to come. Next, this dumbbell or the weight is completely loose. If I turn it, it's gonna fall. There we are. And I cannot put somebody on this because they will also fall. So let's say I put this figure here. That's it. There's no attachment. They're now loose. So that table or the place where you do the weights, it has to be tiled. It has to have some studs as well. So let's proceed on with that before we do the other stuff. What I've done is I have taken out this part of the boxing ring, the ropes. I'm going to put that aside. No changes there. So that allows me access to the ring itself. So I'm going to take this out. This is a 1x6, and I'm going to take this one out. So you can see right now I have these two extra pieces, but I'm going to be using them almost immediately. So what that allows me to do is that I have these jumpers. So I'm going to be needing two of them. So I'm going to put one of them here and another one here. So that way I can put two boxers in the ring. To make sure the footing is firm, I have this 1x3 brick that I'm going to be placing right here. So let's put that in. Now, since these will be sort of under the mat, you can use any discolored brick as long as it matches the color. So I am using slightly older discolored bricks that I have in my collection. I always use them for places where the bricks cannot be properly seen. So that now looks like this. So what you can do is you can put one jumper and 2 plates on one side. So these are the tiles. So let's do that on camera. So I'm turning this over. I'm starting with one 1x2 plate that I'm going to be putting here. So that's how it looks, followed by a jumper. There is that, followed by another tile. So that's how this thing looks right now. So literally I have my boxers on the rope. Similarly, for the other side, I'm going to be putting one tile right here, one jumper, and then another tile. So you can see that now I can attach boxers to this. Let us, before we put this rope there, I want to play with the mat as well, because that is something if I have to do, I'm going to be brushing against this. So let's just put everything back once our jumpers are in place. This is my plan to put studs here. I'm going to be moving this to up by 1. So this one goes right here. This one goes 1 stud up. This leaves a space around here. I'm going to be filling it up with 1 tile and 1 jumper. So let's do that right now. Go over the change that I made. So as you can see, these two have been moved up. So let's press them down properly. I put the gap that opened up, I put a jumper there and a tile. So what I can do is this boxer that came with the diner set, I can put him right here. So he is now punching the punching bag. He is doing his drilling. And this lady, I have to put her on this side. I'm going to be changing and putting her on this side, but I'll do it after I make changes to the weight setup. Now you might be wondering what I'm going to do with these 2 pieces. Remember, they came from the boxing ring. So I made this into a 1x7. So I'm going to be putting it on each side. So basically what I am doing is I am making the mat bigger on each side. Oops, I positioned that one incorrectly. Let's pop it up and do it again. There. It's sort of hard to do with the space there is, but again, there's our figures. And you can see that there's 2 gaps, and those I'm going to be filling with this 1x1 tile. So let's do that. I'm going to be putting the boxing ring back and showing you everything. So here it is, the boxing ring is back. You can see that there's, let's see if we can focus or not. Right here, there's 2 studs on the side. The mat has been increased, and what I have done is, where is my brick separator? It's probably somewhere I cannot see. This are the 2 extra pieces I have added, a 1x1 tile. So as of right now, all the pieces that I took out for my mods, I have put them back. So it's time to put 2 boxers in the ring. So I have 2 boxers from the collectible minifigures, him and him. So you can see it's the same figure. Let's see if we can focus. Let's focus one at a time. Here. So he is clearly going to win the bout, while this guy has been knocked out. Let's focus. There we are. So the guy that's going to be losing, I'm going to be putting him right at the end. And the other one who is itching to come forward, I can sort of put him like that. So yeah, boxing match is going on. I have 2 figures. Maybe I can make him turn his head. Now, one of the reasons I cannot put them in the center of the space is that then I'll be using this whole piece. This is one big piece, and it's rather unfortunate that I cannot do that. So right now he is looking to say, you know what, I'm going to be tapping out, I'm done, while he is very happy to continue. Let's also make sure his helmet is on right. He is also looking a bit on this side. There. Now all of this is going to be hidden by the floor above, but we know it's there. So that's for the boxing rings. Let's now get to this. I'm going to be taking this tile out and I'm going to be putting it on the floor, so it's more like a stepping stool, and this place I'm going to be putting a small plate. So let's do that. What I've done is I've taken the tile out, put it on the floor, so it's like a stepping stool to this weighing bar that you can lie on and lift weights. As I'm putting on, you can see it on camera, you can see that this plate is slightly cracked. Now it's a bit of a problem with old brown plates, brown tiles, brown anything actually, that they easily crack. Lego fans know this. So why I'm putting it here is because this will be attached here, so you cannot see it. Now this is one of the collectible minifigures from the very early series. He has, I believe he has 2 expressions. No, he doesn't. So this is from nearly 10 years ago, and why he is panting and sweating is because he will be lifting this weight that we had attached loosely before. So since he will be attached to this and the weight will be attached to him, there's nothing loose anymore. So let's do that. So I have this figure. You can see that he is almost losing it. This is why it's very important when you do weights to have somebody spotting you. So let's put him inside that. Here we can see this green person doing the weights. One of the boxers, the one that came with the diner set, he's training, and 2 others sparring, well, maybe more than sparring. So it's time to put other minifigures in this set. Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit crowded, but hey, it's Lego. Something fun might be about to happen because his weights might roll down and hit him, and he's a boxer, you don't want to mess with him. And who better to take a snapshot of all of them but this figure. Now this one came with the diner set, but I can see that they're sort of matching. So maybe she is his partner, but she got distracted with all these boxers around and did not pay any attention to her partner's cries for help. Who knows? So I have her taking pictures via this old camera that was again part of the diner set. So I'm going to be reusing it, and I'm going to be placing her right here. So she's taking pictures of everything while he is saying help, help. We have space for one more person. She should be here. So this is the figure I'm going to be using. Let's see if the camera is having trouble focusing. There. So it's a very nice figure for a gym. She is dressed in, I guess, gym appropriate clothes. She has her music device, her headband, sweatbands right here. I'm going to be giving her a weight, and all this is this is a bar with 2 studs. So this is a 1x1 round stud with open end on either side. That's all. So this is a small dumbbell that she has in her hand, and there's already more weights here, so I'm going to be placing her around here. Upper level gym is complete. Let's give you a over the top view and then from the sides. So here we have this guy doing his weights, his girlfriend slash partner or wife distracted by all these guys boxing. We have our mustachioed boxer sparring with the punching bag, and 2 actual boxers sparring, sort of. And we have this lady doing weights, and this is how it looks from the side. You can see from the windows it's a full gym. So we are going to be putting this over the diner, and then it's time to go to the 3rd floor. And remember, these are all the extras that we have so far. Now, there's not too many things you can do with the top floor. It's already packed as it is, and I mean, there's the recording booth here, and I already have the figure that was given from the diner set here. So he is singing. Let me turn it around so you can see him. So there's not too much we can do with that space. We can put one figure here, and that will be this guy. So he is a technician. He is not dressed in anything fancy because he is just your average recording technician. And obviously, because it's a famous celebrity, we have a supervisor with his name tag supervising the recording technician. So I'm going to put the technician here and is supervising standing beside, monitoring the recording on this booth. And then we'll come back to this space. Here it is, right there. The singer is singing and heavily into his performance. And then we have the supervisor. He's like, hey, you better do that or not. And this person who's actually doing the monitoring completely ignoring his supervisor. So that's on this end. Now we gotta do something around here, but let me show you something outside. This is the person, the figure, the woman that comes with the set. She's supposed to be either the recording studio executive or some manager. So she is here on the balcony looking out on the street. Why? Possibly looking at the card that's going, who she is taking the picture of. But you notice something similar between her and her? Yeah, we're gonna come back to it soon after this. The first thing I'm going to do is fill up this chair, and I have this newspaper. It's just a simple, your regular newspaper. So I'm going to be putting it here. So anybody who comes to sit, it's a paper for them to read. It sort of hides the table, but that's fine. Then we have this figure. Now he is laughing. He's like a Ned Flanders on holiday, and he is really, really laughing at something. He has this other expression, but I chose to use the laughing one. And it's because he has probably seen something on his phone, some meme. And this is a good place to use these extra cell phones from the hidden side that I have. So maybe this is something funny and in context. So he has it in his hand. He's laughing at it, and rather loudly, much to the irritation of the recording studio supervisors, because you have to be quiet. But yeah, he is laughing. So I'm going to be putting him on this seat. He's looking, and that's how he is. So there, he is laughing like anything, looking at his phone. Maybe he is the driver waiting for the star to finish recording so he can take him back. Who knows? But there he is. The rest of the recording studio is empty, and I plan to leave it like that. So now let's come to the overall final modifications and what I'm going to be doing with these tiles. Now I'm not sure if this is part of the set. It just popped out from underneath, so maybe I did remove it, I don't know, but I'm going to add it to here. Extra pieces don't make a difference. All I want is the set to be complete. So let me put this back here and then zoom out and show you the overall picture of the set. This is the top of the diner, the roof, and I'm going to be putting somebody up here on the roof. This is this guy. Let me focus him properly. Let's take the camera from his face. There. He is a mustachioed criminal, a rather cartoonish character, and he will be on top of the roof planning something nefarious. Now I just noticed that I don't have a flash bulb stud on his camera, so let me see if I have one in my inventory, and I'm going to be right back. Here I have the roof. I have my criminal along with his nice camera with a flash. So I'm going to be putting him right here. Now, some of you might be wondering what's a criminal doing on the roof. It will be part of a, it'll be part of a story. So he is planning something. We don't know what yet. So let me adjust his mustache. There. So maybe the mustache is fake. That's why it keeps sleeping. But he is planning something. And I have this little box with a jumper. I'm going to be putting it right here. Now roofs have all types of knickerknackers. So let me just turn this hole around to show you what it is like. So we will see, this will be, at some point I will come back to it. So let me also zoom out a bit. There's a criminal on the roof. And you know how easy it is to go up the diner here. So you go up here, then you climb the spiral steps to go up on the roof. So we have another criminal. He will be climbing up the roof. So while the recording is going on, this gentleman will be climbing up. So I don't know, if I put him here, he will not be visible. Should I put him up here? Or I can also put him around here. So he is just climbing up. I think maybe that's what I will do. So if I move it down a bit, you can see there's a stud here. So I'm going to be attaching him right here. So he is going up. He is going to go up the spiral steps and up to join his fellow criminal. And now let's come back to those extra pieces. So this is the back of the downtown diner. You can see that this criminal, whenever he comes up, there will be a glass door and he can be seen. So let's zoom in a bit here. Move up a bit. So he could be seen by this gentleman who's sitting here, but he is laughing, busy looking at his screen. So maybe he will not notice our criminal friend right here. So let's move down a bit again. So this is where I'm going to be putting those extra pieces. Now these could be windows. So remember, on the other side there's the grill, the oven, and this is the hood. So all the smoke, everything comes out of here. But maybe at one time this was windows. They're boarded up now. Somebody could go on the back and walk in to place an order. So I'm going to be placing it like so. So let's move the camera back a bit so you can see the pattern that I'm going with. So this way and here, and I will be joining an extra tile here. So all our extra pieces are done and they will be going right here. So let me do that. Here it is. We have used up all our extra pieces in a proper way. And even if you don't like this arrangement so far, remember this is on the back, so it cannot be easily seen. So you can walk out. There's this stuff right here. It's in a pattern as well. And most likely when I put it in the Lego room, I'll be fencing it up and doing other stuff. So it's right here. So everything that we have done all the modifications to tell a story, and we have reused the pieces. So all that is remaining is the car. And let me show you what I'm going to do with the car, and as well as connect the dots between the two lady figures. So here is my diner set. So let's go with the car. Now this car is a Cadillac. It's very much part of the 1950s set that this is whole going with. But if you go right now to Miami South Beach, you will see this scene very typical there. And one of the Bollywood movies that was shot in Miami, in South Beach, was Dostana. I believe it was 2008, could have been earlier. Starred John Abraham, Abhishek Bachchan, and Priyanka Chopra, who is now famous in Hollywood. There's a very iconic scene of them on a car like this, which is what I'm going to recreate right here. The car doesn't feature prominently inside the movie itself, but it does feature in the song Johnny Q. I don't know whose car it is, but it's also there in the movie promos. So I have recreated this scene using my minifigures. Here is, let's see if I can focus, Abhishek Bachchan, John Abraham, Priyanka Chopra. So they are driving down the road, and this is why this lady is whipping out her cell phone to take her picture. Let's actually zoom in a bit. Move down the camera. Oops, not up. There. So they're going down the street, and she's like, hey, who are they? Let's take a picture. They must be celebrities, and they are. And let's now come back to the story of this lady. You can see that she is very similar to the movie executive. Let's go up to the movie executive. Right there. Zoom in on her. That's who she looks like. This is her. So there must be some switcheroo being planned by her. So she is on the phone. She had a momentary glance at Abhishek Bachchan and his car, but she is not interested. She is interested in doing something with the recording studio. Now, is she tied up with these criminals, one on the roof and one going up? We'll never know. And there is going to be one more story regarding her accomplice. So that's the man in green. And I'm going to, if you have purchased the Lego main square, you will know that the mayor is very similar looking to this guy, except he has a beard, he has a slash around his dress. So again, that's a story that I will explore for another time. But right now, she is planning something here. Maybe the recording artist is involved. We don't know. These two might also be involved. We have no idea right now. But let's just go from the top floor to the bottom to see some of our modifications from the street level. This was it. The small changes that we made to the downtown diner. I believe it enhances the experience. Lots of minifigures and not too many structural modifications. Fully capable of going anywhere inside the Lego town. This is Mesbah signing out. Take care.